Farmer Ash here reporting Nourish News Live out on the field at our produce farm partner. So I'm chilling with some sweet potatoes today. So as I mentioned in a previous video, Nourish is venturing into produce this fall and next year. And so we are adding on produce farm partners. And this guy works with Mother Nature, doesn't fight against it. And so excited to show you guys around the produce farm. And today I am helping by harvesting some sweet potatoes. So I have never done this before, so I'll show you guys some clips of me getting the sweet potatoes harvested, but super exciting to be able to offer produce because a lot of produce is being grown through like hydroponics, not being grown in the soil. And so our farm partner is producing produce as Mother Nature intended, chemical free, and working with the seasons, rotating through various crops. So right now we are in the sweet potato plot. Next year it will be rotated to something else. For example, I'm looking at where the watermelons were grown this summer. Right now they have a cover crop in of radishes. So implementing cover crops, rotating different crops around, implementing various permaculture practices to make sure that we're supporting Mother Nature, not extracting more than what we're giving back to her. So I am so excited about produce because it helps us balance out all the livestock and dairy products that we're offering so that we can offer a full, complete food system. So this fall, we will be able to offer fall storage produce boxes. So items that don't need temperature control and you can buy in bulk and they can store in your cupboard or in your basement. So that's going to include things like different sweet potato varieties. So there's going to be 3 different sweet potato varieties, the standard orange, and then also Japanese sweet potato. And so that is the purple outside, white on the inside. That is my favorite. And then also white sweet potatoes, so more of like a white yellow on the outside and white in the middle. I also love those. So 3 different sweet potato varieties, and then also 3 different potato varieties. So like a kind of like a Yukon Gold, but a few different varieties there. I love those so much. And butternut squash. So we're gonna venture into produce strong this fall with some fall produce storage bulk boxes to get you guys through the winter. So let's go harvest some sweet potatoes. So sweet potatoes are one of my favorite foods. I'm a big fan of starches, and I think that sweet potatoes taste delicious. And also there are like a number of indigenous populations that thrived on very high sweet potato diets. They're very micronutrient rich, they're delicious, and you can do so much with them. So the first step in harvesting your sweet potatoes is gonna be trimming off the vines and leaves. So they've already done a lot of that for me here. So just with some of these cutters here, and then they make sure that these stay on top of the soil. So that way we are giving Mother Nature more back. So this is organic matter, and this will help us rebuild soil and not just take from the soil. So we're giving back a little bit to her. So then we come in and kind of come right underneath the plant and pull these up. Boom! Look at that! Delicious sweet potatoes. And then we do that all down the aisle here. Boom. And that's about it. Sweet potatoes grown in real healthy soil, going to be very micronutrient rich, and you're also going to get a lot more flavor out of sweet potatoes and produce that's grown in real soil. So I am not the biggest fan of hydroponics because I think that it really disconnects us further from nature, and I think we can all agree that humans don't need to be further from nature. I'm about producing food as it was produced hundreds, thousands of years ago. And so I want all of my produce to be grown in actual real soil. And healthier soil means that the plants have access to more micronutrients. And so then that means that the produce that you guys eat is higher in micronutrients as well. So that's why I want to be eating produce that's grown in actual real soil. So then that way we get a much wider variety of micronutrients in the produce that we're consuming. That's also another reason why like chemical-free agriculture is important to me. Chemicals are gonna come in and destroy a lot of the microbiome in the soil. So think if you were on an antibiotic chronically, right? That's gonna disrupt your gut microbiome. Well, the soil microbiome is very similar to your gut microbiome. And so if you're constantly throwing chemicals into the soil, that's gonna disrupt the soil microbiome, reduce the population of all these beneficial bacteria species that are going out and foraging the soil for various micronutrients to deliver that to the plants, because there is a beautiful network in the ground below your feet that we will never understand fully. Like, it's way too complex. Mother Nature is way smarter than us. And so all we can do is give her the tools that she needs so that she can thrive and do her thing, right? Let's not stand in the way with chemicals. Let's not fight her. Instead, let's give her the tools that she needs. She's way smarter than us, and just let her do her thing, you know? So again, I know I say this all the time, but the goal with Nourish, like, we're just going back to producing food the way it used to be produced when they had no other option but to work with Mother Nature. They had less chronic disease. They didn't have to use chemicals. Their produce was much more rich in micronutrients, and everything tasted better too, you know? So here's where the watermelons were grown. And so then they did the cover crops of radishes on top to keep the soil covered, to make sure there are living roots in the ground, so that way we can improve soil health, increase organic matter, and make sure we're building back soil after the summer harvest. So another really weird thing about conventional agriculture and some parts of the food system is they're trying to experiment to put mRNA vaccines in produce. Like, excuse me, what? I promise you there will be none of that with Nourish produce. So next year, Nourish is actually going to be offering seasonal produce boxes that will start in like early spring, and it will be boxes of an assortment of produce that is available at that time of year, and that will shift as the seasons change. So then those who sign up will get a different box each week, and then that way you are cooking and working with Mother Nature yourself. So that way the farmer doesn't have to fight nature and is harvesting in season, and then you can get creative in the kitchen as you get variety of different produce options throughout the year, which is super exciting. So it's October here in Michigan, and I'm with the pepper plants. So some peppers grow well in the fall. And we've also got some of the tomatoes that we're growing this summer, and there's still some tomatoes growing on the vines right now. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a different part of the farm. Again, all of these get like rotated around, but so be on the lookout for that for 2025. There will be a limited quantity available. So basically each week the farmer will harvest what is available, package those up, and then those that sign up for the seasonal produce boxes will then get shipped a box, and then they get to expand their culinary experiences and culinary skills. And I think it's really beautiful because then you get to like change up your recipes each week. You get to learn what is in season, what's not in season, and it also just adds a spice and variety to life. So be on the lookout for chemical-free produce boxes for produce like actually grown in real soil starting next year. So we're actually doing some test shipments for those seasonal produce boxes that we're going to start next year this fall, just to make sure everything's good. And one thing I forgot to bring up is there will be no APEEL layer on top of any of this produce. So the produce will be picked fresh and then shipped out the same day or the next day. Another very exciting thing about our produce farm partner is one of my favorite things, and that is chickens. So chickens chicken manure is nature's fertilizer, naturally rich in NPK. And so what this produce farmer does is he rotates his fields each year between different produce options and then also where the chickens go. And so the chickens can get any leftover scraps and then also fertilize the soil. Again, rebuilding the soil structure and making sure that the soil network and soil microbiome is strong and Mother Nature has what it needs to thrive. So let's go see where this chicken is heading back to. So in addition to some layer birds, which are the brown ones here that we just saw, and they have those for themselves, raising eggs for their family, they are also one of our chicken farm partners. So the white ones, these are meat birds. And so these are the Joel Salatin style structures, movable structures that get moved 2 times a day, in the morning and evening. And so this farm partner also raises meat birds for us. So Stacked Enterprises, again, very much working with Mother Nature, because livestock production systems where the chicken manure is naturally fertilizing the ground, livestock production systems work very well with produce where the conventional food system has them separated, when instead they can benefit from each other. Unvaccinated, healthy, happy birds munching on our custom-made corn and soy-free low PUFA feed, sunlight, fresh grass, and fresh air. Keeping livestock and produce together is how Mother Nature has always operated, where instead the conventional agriculture system took the go big or go home, specialize in one, mass produce, and then you're fighting Mother Nature with chemicals to specialize in one and have a monocrop system or a mono livestock species system, where again, you're just not working with Mother Nature's principles and you're gonna have to fight her with chemicals rather than just working with her biology. All right, so that about wraps up this week's Nourish News. I hope you guys enjoyed the little tour of our produce farm partner and watched me harvest some sweet potatoes, one of my favorite foods. And make sure you guys check out our fall produce bundle boxes. So again, no temperature regulation required, so you can buy those in bulk and just keep those in your basement out of the light, and those will store throughout the winter. Storage produce. And next year we'll be starting up those CSA seasonal produce boxes. And until next time, hope you guys have a great weekend and stay nourished.